rest of the speakers finished. So this afternoon we are very fortunate to have a candidate for U.S. 3rd District Representative Jaime Herrera.
It's not actually that big. I am very honored to be before you today. We have a tremendous opportunity. 2 years ago, I remember thinking, in fact, my husband and I left. Dan, wave. We were leaving after our election night party. I'm a state representative. I represent part of Clark and Cowlitz counties in the state legislature. We left our election night party, and we had won, and we were really, really depressed. I don't know, I bet you a lot of folks here felt the same way. My goodness, could it get any worse? Well, in the last 19 months, 20 months, yes, it has gotten a lot worse. And folks across the country, not just here in Washington State, but across the country, are tired of elitists in Washington, D.C. that think they know better than us how to live our lives, how to spend our money, how to raise our kids, and what kind of health care we should choose. And fortunately, folks are coming, it's almost like they're coming back to life. They're awakening. They're recognizing that the federal government has overstepped its bounds yet again, and we have to do something about it. We have this chance. I really do believe it's probably the last chance in a generation that we're going to have to put our country back on the right track. And I don't mean returning to the time when Republicans were big spenders, right? Or when Republicans were growing the deficit. I'm not talking about returning to that. I'm talking about returning to the free market, the belief that the free enterprise system is the greatest system on the face of the earth, and it's what's created the wealth and the opportunity that we hold dear. That's under assault right now. And here in the 3rd Congressional District, I know we're right abutting the 3rd. Basically, from just over there, west to the coast, is the 3rd Congressional District. It's the 7 counties of southwest Washington. It's part of Thurston County and then down the I-5 corridor. Clark County is I call it the beachhead. It's where most of the voters are. But then obviously it's a very, very diverse district. Very rural, timber resource rich, has coastal regions, so fishing communities, and then a new growing more suburban center up the I-5 corridor. So we've got a lot of challenges. And right now our biggest challenge is we're district-wide the highest unemployed region in our state. If we were a state, we'd have higher unemployment than most states. We'd be near the top 5. So we have nowhere are the challenges our country is facing more real than in Southwest Washington, but I also look at that and think, nowhere do we have more opportunities. I was one of 6 candidates running for this race. We went through the primary and had 2 real good, strong Republicans running as my opponents. Out of that, the total overall Republican vote was at about 54%. The overall Democrat vote was at around 42%, meaning, hey, we're doing well. A lot of the liberal pundits said, well, it's just because you guys had a strong primary and Republicans had a reason to get out to vote. Well, 3 polls later, since the primary, our resolve is remaining strong. I have somewhere around a 10, 12-point lead on my Democratic opponent. And I think it's because folks in our region recognize he's more of the same. He's already supported $1.8 trillion in new spending in the last 9 months alone, and he hasn't even been elected yet. He supports the healthcare takeover. He believes in the government getting involved in the energy business, and he supported a lot of the stimulus and bailouts that have already taken place. He's going to run like a Republican. I saw some of his flyers that came out during the primary talking about he's against wasteful government spending. And I'm going, well, wait a minute. If you support over $1 trillion in new spending, how can you be against wasteful government spending? But he recognizes where the folks are at in our region right now, and they don't want to hear more about his big spending, high taxing ways. So we've got this opportunity. However, as of starting tomorrow, he just purchased another $80,000 of media. He's been on TV since the primary, and his buy is getting much bigger tomorrow, meaning he is going to go double-barreled at me through the rest of the year. And he's going to have to. What I need And what I'm asking for from you is to help push us over the finish line. We've got the lead because folks recognize it's not just a talking point for me when I say I'm against higher taxes. I believe in letting you keep more of your hard-earned money. I support small and medium-sized businesses because they're the ones that are going to employ my friends and neighbors who are out of work. I believe in free enterprise solutions to healthcare. And those aren't talking points. Those are things I fought for in Washington State and Olympia, and it's what I'll fight for if you choose to send me to Congress. So I invite you, please get on my website, JaimeHerrera.com, put your email in, sign up for our updates. We are going to be doing events and rallies all throughout the district, and we need your help with phone banking. We could use your help in a million different ways. This is one race, and I'll close with this. MSNBC ranked this race in the 3rd Congressional District as the #1 swing race in the nation. They say it is the perfect example. It's a bellwether for what's going to happen in the U.S. House. And both of the campaign committees, the Republicans and the Democrats in D.C., recognize this is ground zero for election 2010. Let's prove to them that the American people are tired of government elitists who do business as usual. Let's prove to them that we can and we do want our country back. Thank you so much for having me.